And welcome everyone to our weekly chat looking at the Power 36 and the AP Top 25. I'm Andy Katz from March Madness and NCAA.com. A little later this afternoon than we did last week. We'll try to get it a little earlier on the Mondays as these two polls come out. All right, first of all, let's look at the two polls and compare and contrast. Gonzaga, Baylor, Iowa, Michigan State. We agree. Good to see. A little higher for Kansas on the AP poll. I have Texas at 7. They won the relocated Maui Invitational in Asheville, knocking off North Carolina. Excuse me. So that's positive. Then North Carolina was a buzzer beater, so I've got them at 9. I have, let's see here, Illinois, 6 versus 11. I thought Baylor kind of handled them pretty easily. West Virginia, very comparable. Virginia, I guess I'm a little higher on Virginia. I saw them in person, 18-13. Wisconsin, dropping down 13-16. So, Tennessee, we don't know yet. They hadn't played yet. I think the most interesting part is the back part of the poll in my Power 36. So, back part, St. Louis, not ranked. Indiana, not ranked. Florida State is. San Diego State, yes. Missouri, I have Missouri at 25. They do not. Louisville at 25, way too high. I have Louisville at 32. I think those 6 spots matter. Oklahoma State, Marquette, and UConn, high on. Saw Florida in person. I think they're going to move up the polls much better than in their second game against BC than they were in their first against Army. Xavier, big win over Cincinnati. Texas Tech back in my poll. USC. Evan Mobley's a stud, but Ethan Anderson didn't play in the UConn game. I think that makes a big difference. All right, so first of all, a couple of house cleaning items. Michigan State was our team of the week. Justin Lewis from Marquette was our National Player of the Week, 18 off the bench, the tap-in to knock off the Badgers. So that was significant. Gave some shout-outs to Texas. Indiana's Trace Jackson-Davis. He had 31 against Stanford. Army and Navy each only have 1 loss, have beaten A-10 teams. A Big East team, Navy beating Georgetown. I rattled off some of those significant wins. Gonzaga beating West Virginia. Baylor beating Illinois. Michigan State beating Duke. Kansas beating Kentucky. Kentucky at 1-3. Major point guard issues. Georgia Tech, talked to him, head coach Josh Pastner. Look, he's saying he didn't practice 5-on-5 before the Mercer game in Georgia State. Whether it's an excuse or not, it happened. They looked really good in beating Kentucky on Sunday. Games are getting postponed, canceled, yet plenty of games are getting played. It's disheartening when DePaul goes to Iowa State, can't play the game. Meanwhile, Villanova, Texas gets played. St. John's decided not to go to Texas Tech. Providence is on their way to TCU. So each institution is going to make up its own mind on what they're going to do and how they're going to handle this. And it's just going to be different. Gonzaga has a couple positives. They still play in Florida and Indiana. Finally, the Baylor game doesn't happen. Maybe another opponent wouldn't have let them play against Auburn in Florida or West Virginia in Indianapolis. It just does depend. Villanova didn't want to play Baylor after Scott Drew was positive. So Baylor then goes to Vegas and gets 2 games there. You can't uniformly, as much as everyone wants it to be one set of criteria, we can't do that right now because of the different states and different institutions. They're just not going to agree. How about fans? There are no fans in the majority of arenas, not even at Duke with the Cameron Crazies. Yet, there were fans at the Texas-Villanova game. There were fans for Kentucky. So, there's not going to be one answer, and that's unfortunate. This week, ACC Big Ten Challenge. We'll talk about that on our podcast. Alfonso Ellis joined me. Shaka Smart from Texas, head coach, joined me. Talked about their team and the hair, why he used to be bald, why he now has hair, his thought process, investigative journalism on the hair. And then Mac McClung joins me from Texas Tech, transfer from Georgetown, leading the Red Raiders in scoring. This week already, 2 ACC Big Ten Challenge games have been postponed. I'm not using the word canceled because they may try to make them up. Louisville at Wisconsin. Instead, Wisconsin's going to play Rhode Island, hosting them. NC State, Michigan, not happening because of NC State. And now Michigan looking for another opponent, maybe on Thursday instead of Wednesday. UConn was trying to find an opponent on Monday. They tried Richmond, St. Louis. There was even talk to Michigan. But then they had a positive. So they're shut down right now. And their game on Friday against St. John's is now not going to happen. So we just have to roll with it. And basically every game that we get is a win. That's the way I look at it right now. Let's take some questions. David Mendenhall, who do I got? Iowa or Gonzaga? Well, that's December 19th. I would say Gonzaga now. Thoughts on Arkansas, Michael Allen Russell? Moses Moody is having a phenomenal start to his season. Adrian Mosqueda, 16,300 makes a difference in Allen Fieldhouse. Definitely. So how will Creighton be able to deal with not that kind of a crazy environment? Their ears will not be ringing from Rock Talk Jayhawk. So that'll be a difference. If Rutgers beats Syracuse, asks Andy and Maryland, do you think they move into the top 10? That's right, no Geo. Do they move into the top 10? Pretty close for me. Where are they in the AP? 21. Maybe not in AP. Illinois Duke, Brandon. Who do I have? Well, am I giving away the podcast? Because I made that prediction on the podcast. I'm going to make you listen to it. Or at least see our graphic tomorrow. Patrick, just throwing out Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana has been my sleeper team in the Big Ten. I know they did not look good against Texas. Don't worry. They look really good against Stanford. Courtney loves her Tennessee Volunteers. Well, they're going to play Colorado the first game of the season. Adrian, do I think UK figures it out? Yes. They got to settle on the right point guard. Maybe it is Davian Mintz. Experience is going to matter this year. No question. Experience will matter. What game are you most interested in the ACC Big Ten Challenge? So here are the 5. We looked at Michigan State, Virginia, the Hauser game, Illinois Duke, Carolina, Iowa, Indiana, Florida State, and my sleeper game, Maryland, Clemson. Maryland 4-0, Hakeem Hart, 33 against St. Peter's. Clemson, undefeated, already knocked off Purdue. 2 old ACC rivals. Kyle, is Iowa the real deal against top 15 teams? We'll wait and see. I think they will be. Peter Krzyzanowski, big win for Marquette. No letdown versus Green Bay tomorrow. True. After losing Oklahoma State at home, to come back and beat Wisconsin, that it was a major, major turn of events for Marquette. Miguel, any chance Gonzaga's week off hurts their chances? No, of holding number 1. Because first of all, they were going to play low-level teams, Charlton State, Southern, NAU. So, no, it won't affect them at all. Adam Durfinger, who's my sleeper that's not in the top 15. Okay, good question. Well, in my poll, sleepers, Arizona State, St. Louis, Indiana, Florida State. It's weird to call them sleepers. Missouri. I would really watch out for Oklahoma State. I think they're going to get better and better. Adrian, is Big Ten still the best conference? Yes. They're still going to get the majority team. I'll tell you another team to keep an eye on that is not ranked here. First of all, Ohio State's ranked 22. Way too high. Lowell gave them quite a game at home. Let's wait and see on the Buckeyes. Seth Towns, not healthy. But I'm going to give you another Big Ten team that I'm really watching closely, and that's Minnesota. Booth Gotch from Utah, the transfer, making a significant impact. Liam Robbins, the transfer from Drake. Gabe Kausher. Marcus Carr has been phenomenal, scoring over 20 basically consistently. Adrian Ferris says, why is no one mentioning Villanova losing 3 games in 4 days? Um, you know, the Virginia Tech game was an overtime game. Could have gone either way. No, nothing wrong with that. Nate Pearson, how good is Gonzaga? Well, they're deservedly the number one team in the country. Jalen Suggs, look, Jalen Suggs right now is right there with Cade Cunningham as the best freshman in the country. And I don't think, people thought he was good, but maybe not this good. And no one wishes that they had a shutdown or a pause. But this will allow Jalen Suggs to get healthier because if you remember what happened at the end of the West Virginia or first half of West Virginia, came back and played still, but he was struggling. So I think that giving him time to get healthy will help the Zags. I do. I did pick Creighton, Kansas. I'm not going to tell you who, though, yet. Got to have some tease here. Justin, do I work for the Big Ten Network? Yes, I do. Let's see. Darren does not believe in the Tar Heels. He's a hater. Paul, has a date been made for Gonzaga and Baylor? Not yet. They're working on it. What's Texas' ceiling? I think it's pretty high. Greg Brown is just scratching the surface. Kai Jones, he's like Stretch Armstrong. He's all over the place. Experienced guards. Steven wants to know, could we get an Arkansas St. John's game going? Be interesting. St. John's didn't go to Texas, so I don't think they're going to Arkansas. So, Jamie McCoy wants to know, what do I think about Nebraska? They're complete unknowns. So many transfers. Teddy Allen had a good game the other day. I'll be very interested to see how they handle this game against Georgia Tech. Nevada went in to beat Nebraska. USF went into Nevada to beat them. So not quite sure. Appreciate the love, Adrian. Tony Sheehy, give me some mid-major teams that I feel people are sleeping on. So, A.J. Green's injury at Northern Iowa is a concern. Let me think. Well, if we're going to call San Francisco a mid-major, Gonzaga's not. Stop it right now. But teams in the WCC are. But San Francisco is going to make some noise. Keep an eye on them. Because they've followed up the win over Virginia with road wins. So I really like this Dons team and what Todd Golden is building. So they would be one of the top teams I would think of right now. No tournament prediction bracket yet. Joseph, yeah, Liberty had a good showing in Kansas City. Detroit, I like that, Tom. Mike Davis, what he's doing, he almost beat Michigan State, or they got, they pushed him. And, Antoine Davis is a phenomenal talent. Let's see who else. Let's do a couple more. We got like a minute and a half. Big 12 will be a slugfest, Logan. No question. It'll be very difficult to get out of that because Oklahoma's starting to play better. Just starting. But Baylor, Kansas, Texas Tech, West Virginia, Texas, going to really just beat up on each other. Jake wants to know about Iowa, Carolina. Garrison Brooks' health is a big question there. If he's healthy, they're going to need to really collapse on Garza and force the guards to beat him, which they can. Jordan Bohannon, Joe Wieskamp, they can make big-time shots. Shannon says how crazy it would be if Detroit beats Kentucky with Brad Calipari. Yes, that would be crazy. A lot of Kentucky is their hope. Yes. Oh, Amon, I'm not sleeping on Indiana. I've had Indiana as my sleeper. So, yes, I've been big on the Hoosiers. Creighton and Nova are the top two in the Big East, Peter. Yes, they are. Houston looking like a Final Four team. Richard, do you think so? They could be. Marcus Sasser, not a name we all thought we'd be saying. So, I think they're clearly the favorite in the American. San Diego State, clearly the favorite in the Mountain West. Third place in the Big East can be very interesting. I believe right now, from what I've seen, I think it will be UConn. Spencer, will Garza be Player of the Year? Yes. I don't think there's any question. He is going to run away with the award when he's averaging 30-plus points. All right. A lot to digest on the site and through our March Madness social media handles. A lot of coverage, post-game coverage, throughout the course of the week. We've got the podcast tomorrow dropping. As I said, Shaka Smart, Mac McClung, LaFonso Ellis helps me break down the ACC Big Ten Challenge. You got the Power 36, AP poll, Justin Lewis from Marquette, Player of the Week, Michigan State, our Team of the Week. As always, stay safe, everyone. I appreciate the engagement, and we'll talk again next week.